All right, welcome to the Tribute Lounge. I'm Shane Johnson, and today I get to hang with this legend, Mons Roisland. All right, Mons, so you know that I've ridden this board. I know that you've ridden this board. You guys, what you did in Bongo was amazing. You and Torstein on that was one of my favorite films of the year, hands down.
Thank you.
But we kept seeing this base, which the Nidecker guys did a really good job of
It pops.
It pops.
Yeah.
It pops. But I was stoked because it was the first time I saw it in the wild. It was sent to us to review. This thing blew my mind. I've never been on any of their product before. This, I want to hear from you, but this board is kind of the ATV that I've in some ways been looking for.
For sure. It's fun to hear your opinion on it too, because that's what it did to me too. It really blew my mind. I didn't know what to expect. Looking at it, it looks like a perfect POW board for any fun day you're having out there. And then I took it in the park. I rode big jumps and rails even, and been mostly in the powder with this, but it's an insane board, and it carves like crazy on corduroy. Like, it's a bit wider, so I'm not afraid of getting any heel drags or toe drags.
Yeah, you're not going to boot out. Exactly.
And you could just lean into one, and this thing, it rips.
Yeah, well, like I was telling you, I went through our bank slalom course, Salmo Turning Man, and same thing. I would just get on edge on this. I actually rode it pawsy for some of the time, because it was carving that good that I was like, all right, well, let's
dig
just
in.
charge on this thing, right? So I was like 30 and +9 and just digging on this board. But really good side cut, kind of long entry on the intro of the side cut here, so it gives you a lot of stability. And it's snappy. I don't know what the core is on these, but it's really reactive, fun snowboard. It's
such a good snowboard. Like I've done 1260s on this board and feel super steady and comfortable on it. And it's a board I really trust.
Yeah.
Going into a turn, either if it's like hard pack or POW or whatever it is, it's really sick. It's like you said, an ATV, and it's just, I think, also very cool looking with the double exposure with the glossy and the matte on top, and then you have the really poppy base, so it really gets a photo looking good. And
yeah, and we were chatting earlier, we're not sure what level of sintered base this is, but it's just, trust us, it's damn fast, it's durable. Wax your base, keep it prepped, keep it dialed. The more you wax it, the harder, faster they get. And whatever these guys are using, it was definitely impressive. Now, how long have you been with Nidecker?
This is my second season.
Cool.
With Nidecker, so not too long, but I've been trying out a bunch of boards, and I gotta be honest, like, this is my definite favorite all-around board. It's so much fun, and it just like fell in love with this board right away after having a day on it,
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good quality board, but it also just looks really cool to me. I love how it rolls off the banks of the sides.
Yeah, this is cool. This is like a half-cap sidewall too that will kind of show you there. It probably is transferring a bit more energy to the edge. That's probably helping that stability we were talking about on hard pack too. Have you tried the Mosquito? Have you tried that one?
Yeah, I have tried a Mosquito.
That's a fun board too.
It's a really fun board.
Mark in the back there, our filmer, he got on that and was just
aggressive board.
Yeah.
Like really cool board.
Yeah,
for carving especially, it's amazing.
That's another one in their lineup I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah, really quick.
Yeah.
Cool board.
So evolving with Nidecker then, do you think you'll get some opportunity to start getting some of your own ideas into a board maybe?
That is what we're doing right now, which is super exciting. So we've been developing like more of a park board line with the Nidecker after I got on, which was an amazing process. Great board builder there, Antoine, I've been working with to create this new park line, and he sent me, like, after talking a bunch about what I like and what I want it to be, he sent me 12 prototypes, just black boards, and I tested them out over like several months, kind of just narrowed that down to like, okay, 8 boards, 6 boards, 4 boards, and then finally like, this is the one, not this board, but the one I came down to. So that board is now in the line, and
Right on, Mons.
I am doing some graphics with them as well. That's
Oh,
gonna come
dude,
out
well,
next
well
year, so.
deserved.
Well, thank you.
I mean, for sure. You're second at the Olympics to evolving now to the crew you're riding with, like Kokard, Torstein, like all those guys. It's Torstein. I better get that right, or he's gonna kill me.
Torstein?
Yeah, Torstein. Torstein, we're Canadians, right? So we keep doing that. Torstein, I'm sorry, I keep doing that to you. Moving on, so that's the board. Now, what bindings are you riding?
I'm on the Now Bindings pilot binding.
Cool.
Really good binding.
Shout out to JF.
Dude, JF's the man.
Yeah.
He's killing it. And that binding is amazing. Just good, sturdy binding that just makes me really feel connected. It's a binding I trust. I feel like the binding is almost the most important part of your whole getup.
That's your connection, man.
That's your connection to the board. And if you don't trust it, you're riding on edge, scary.
Yeah, your boot combined with that is what's also flexing, manipulating the board, deciding how bent your knees are. So speaking of that, do you ride with forward lean?
I don't. It's just
me either.
Straight up. Yeah. That's what I like. I don't know. I just never really messed around with it, and just
to me, it was always a half-pipe thing, and it was a half-pipe thing. You really need your knees bent in the pipe.
Right.
You needed to just be down and like locked for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I'll add a little to my front foot lately when I get into those stupid angles. Okay. Because I like that it drops my front knee down, but that's when I'm like riding 30 degrees on my front foot.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that before, just the front foot.
And Fawcett got me onto that. Sick. Just the front foot and keeping the back up. So that's been a unique thing, and I actually do find it supportive. But what angles are you running?
I'm kind of old school, just going 9-9. Yeah. Or not old school, but I'm saying from in my head it's old school because I've always been positive negative, but starting off buying a board when I was a kid, going to stores,
everybody
no
would
idea.
Have been 15-15. Right?
Everyone wanted you as duck as possible.
So ridiculous.
And then just kind of started 15-15, and then just narrowed it in after some years, and I'll change it up depending on what we're riding, but mostly 9-9. I could go like 6 or 3 on the back foot.
That's interesting, because we get a lot of my freestyle guys really low angle front foot until they get into something, say like a border cross or bank slalom. Then everybody blows out their front foot to like even 21, 27 to get into that. Do you find you change with, like when you're out free riding, say POW free riding, building a cheese wedge? Still
cheese wedge, I definitely still go.
Spinning.
Yeah, I definitely still go 9-9 because if I want to go drop in switch or land switch, that feels comfortable to me. Yeah. But like definitely for bank slalom, I'll change it up and like feel the one direction I'm going towards and
fairly centered on your board.
I'm a little bit back for sure. This one is definitely already directional, set back. But I do go back a little bit on every board I use. I like looking down and just feeling that I have a bigger nose than tail. Yeah. Just the feeling and look of it. I think it's a good look and it feels right. But not too much when I'm riding contests in park, but a little bit. Yeah,
cool. And what boots are you running? You're on the Nidecker boots?
Nidecker boots. Yep. I'm on the Index boot.
Cool.
Which is my favorite of their line. It's a really good, sturdy boot. And they did a hell of a job with their boots. So it's like the only boot that I've been putting on and right away just feeling good, not needing to break in or boot line.
Sick. Yeah, I've only tried the Rift on, and that one was A1.
The Rift is super really nice. Yeah, I love the Rift as well.
Little softer than the one you're running, but cool. No, that's good to know. And then your outerwear sponsor.
Yeah, Neurona.
You share this with Tor as well.
I do. Yeah, Tor kind of opened, I think, a lot of people's eyes in the snowboarding industry for that brand because it's like one of the biggest brands in Norway. It's a Norwegian family-owned brand, and I think 4th generation or something over there, 4th generation owned. And it's really cool, man. It's like
I've seen what you guys have been wearing. I mean, the quality.
Great quality stuff.
It's killer.
Best like waterproof Gore-Tex I've ever been in, and their like headquarters are 15 minutes away from where I live, so it's super sick. I can drop by anytime and have a good relationship with those guys, and they really care about ambassador feedback and all that, bouncing back and forth. So it's a really cool relationship.
So as you guys evolve, you'll probably be able to get more of your color palettes or whatever involved.
That'd be dope. I hope so. They're really exciting to work with. I send like designers some stuff here and there and like inspiration for what we see and whatever, and they're really taking it in, and it's dope. Cool. It's really cool. Yeah, so thanks to Torstein for kind of opening that
Yeah,
door
no,
a
that's
little bit,
rad,
you know,
man.
like just watching him drop in the natural selection all fully covered in the Norwegian brand, that was mind blowing.
Yeah, that was really, really
Yeah.
cool. No, and it's good to see the outerwear market for us, because just being in retail and the world I'm in, you know, we're seeing a lot of changes. We're seeing a lot of new brands coming from Europe, Beyond Metals, Nomadic's another one I was pretty hyped on too, and now, you know, what you guys are bringing, it's good to see. It's good to see the shakeup happening.
Right.
I kind of like that. Yeah, for sure. So, goggle sponsor.
None.
No goggle sponsor. Bros, Jason Bros, Ashbury, get on that. Get on that. You already got Cicerelli.
Dude,
I mean,
Cicerelli's
come on,
looking good.
He was looking
Yeah.
good in that stuff too. Awesome, man. Well, so now I want to get into a little bit of like your riding aesthetic, and we try to help people with gear. We also try to just help people with snowboarding. I get a ton of questions about that stuff too. So, you know, setup, we've talked about all that. Now when it comes to actual riding, you know, just free riding, let's talk about that. Flow, mindset, that kind of concept. Like when you were a little dude to now, what were the building blocks of becoming, dude, you went to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody does that. So those building blocks, what are some things along the way that you found really elevated your game in snowboarding?
That's a good question. It's a big question.
It's a big question, yeah.
But I feel like I had a really good snowboarding community around me and where I grew up.
That's the right answer,
it's,
man.
It's
yeah.
pretty crazy because Ståle, Alec Ostring, Len grew up in the same hill as I did.
Wow.
So when I grew up, I like, you know, they were in the hill. I was just idolizing those guys, and it was pretty sick because I get to ride the same stuff that they did. And then I had like 4 of my that got to become my closest friends at this time was like riding at the same place I was, and we were all like same age and wanted to compete and like just ride a bunch and all that stuff when we were kids together. So we've been traveling together for so long, and a lot of those dudes, you know, that Fridge was not growing up there, but he was also riding a bunch.
Part of that
when I
scene,
was
yeah.
a part of that scene, and it was really cool. So great snowboarding community back home for just, it was a terrible hill, but
it's the community that makes it rad.
exactly.
And
It doesn't, you don't care, you don't.
And you're
it's just
watching
going out
those
riding.
dudes.
Yeah.
You're watching those guys ride, and I think
And then you watch all of a sudden Ståle be in X Games, you know, a couple of months later after you've been sharing the hell with them. So it's amazing.
awesome,
So it's just
yeah.
inspirational. So when I was a kid, I was just having so much fun riding, good crews, and then getting older, it's just been, I guess the main part's been the same almost, just a good community in Norway, I'd say.
yeah.
Great like federation for competing has always been, you know, when I was getting on the team, Torstein was still on the team competing. Ståle, Torgeir.
Yeah, he's a monster rider too.
Insane.
Oh, dude.
Insane. So you had like
Yeah.
the best idols growing up and wanting to go that route too, which kind of taught you all the ways and
Were you wanting to compete? Was that what you were set out like that? You set your sights on that first?
Yeah, that was definitely, you know, kind of the only or almost the only part I grew up knowing, you know.
Yeah.
Competitive snowboarding and
yeah.
kind of like that was how you were doing the building blocks. At the time, Mikael was still competing on the national team.
Yeah.
And it was kind of always the way to go. And I love competing, man. I like it, and I also freaking love going out filming, and I feel so blessed that I can go out to film, and especially with the crew I'm here with right now.
Crew,
It's
like
incredible.
I was telling Tori yesterday, it's like this mini Bones Brigade you guys have created or something. It's just like such a unique group of dudes that everyone's riding style kind of complements each other. It's really, really unique. And I was talking to Manning too earlier. I met Tim, and yeah, it's he was sharing the same sentiment about it too. It's a rad crew, and I look forward to what you guys, because we can tell people you're filming for next year's full length.
Yeah. So Torstein's making a project this year, which is super exciting, and I think it's going to be really unique and dope. Like we spent. I didn't get to spend too much time in Japan, but the rest of the crew was there for almost 3 weeks. I was there for like 10 days, and it was insane. Best pow I've ever ridden, and the shots look amazing.
Oh man,
so we really got lucky there with the weather, and now we're here in Valhalla, and the setup's insane. So
you've been building some stuff out there to ride, and then the natural terrain in Baldface Valhalla too is
crazy.
It is
Mind blowing.
Yeah, you're venturing into the Valhallas. The Norns range is around there, and it's you know, for Canada, there's definitely some gnarly steeps out in that zone too.
For sure.
You can access some good stuff, and it will film well too because it's just gorgeous out there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right on, man. Well, I think we've touched on pretty much everything. I always have to thank our sponsors. We just brought up Baldface, but Baldface Lodge, thank you guys so much for helping with the show. Cole Headwear, of course, helping us pay rent down here and just being the raddest guys ever. We've brought on NBC Beers. How's the beer, man?
It's really good.
It's good
Tasty beer.
Local brewery, so NBC jumped on board with us, which is super cool. And Stoke the Fire, we ate all the hot sauce, so I don't even have any behind us anymore. So, you know, Stu, we need more hot sauce. We'll hit you up soon. But yeah, bro, it's just super good to hang. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll do this again. We'll do this next season.
I'd like that.
Right on. Right on, Mons. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Later.